If Stella had known what that small act of kindness would lead to, maybe she would have paused. But how could she know? Who was that child? Why was he alone on that dusty road with empty hands and a dry throat? It was a hot afternoon in the small town of Oyo. The sun was harsh and the dusty breeze carried the smell of roasted corn and red earth. People moved slowly. Children played with empty cans, kicking them along the road. The air buzzed with quiet struggle. Stella was tired. Her slippers were thin, and her feet ached from walking around all morning looking for house cleaning work. Nobody needed her that day. She had only one piece of bread in her bag. The last one. It was all she could afford with the little coins she had left. There was no food waiting at home. Nothing. She sat under a mango tree near the junction, holding the wrapped bread like it was gold. Her stomach grumbled. She hadn't eaten since yesterday. She unwrapped the bread slowly, planning to chew it bit by bit. Just as she was about to take the first bite, a small voice interrupted her. "Auntie, please, I'm hungry." She looked up. A boy, no older than 10, stood in front of her. His clothes were torn, his eyes tired and empty. He held his belly and looked at her bread like it was a dream. Stella stared at him. Her heart beat fast. She looked at her bread, then at the boy, then at her bread again. She sighed. Without a word, she broke the bread in two and gave him the bigger piece. He smiled weakly. "Thank you, Auntie." She nodded, unable to speak. She watched him sit by the gutter, eating fast like he hadn't seen food in days. Stella chewed the smaller piece slowly, tears forming in her eyes. It wasn't much, but it felt right. After some minutes, the boy stood up and wiped his mouth. "God bless you," he said. "Something good will find you." Stella nodded again. The boy walked away, his back disappearing down the dusty road. She didn't think much of it. Poor people help each other all the time. What else can they do? Stella went home that evening to her small room behind Mama Toby's shop. She drank Gary with tap water and laid on her mat, tired and weak. As sleep took her, she whispered a prayer. "God, I don't have much, but let tomorrow be better." That night, she dreamt of a large compound with white walls, laughter, and a smell of jollof rice in the air. She woke up smiling, not knowing that her life was about to change. The next morning, Stella woke up to the sound of her neighbor pounding yam. Her stomach growled again, but there was nothing to eat. She sat on her mat and stretched, still thinking about the little boy from yesterday. There was a soft knock at the door. "Who is it?" she called out. "It's me, Mama Toby," the landlady said. Stella stood up quickly. Her rent was already 2 weeks late. She opened the door, her heart racing. But Mama Toby was smiling. "Stella, someone is looking for you," she said. Stella frowned. "Who?" "A man came this morning. He said he saw you helping a boy yesterday near the mango tree. He left this note." Mama Toby handed her a small white envelope. Stella opened it slowly. Inside, a neat piece of paper with a short message. "I saw what you did. Come to 15 David Crescent, Gra, by 11 a.m. today. Ask for Mr. David. Don't be afraid." Stella read it 3 times. Her hands shook. "Is it real?" she whispered. Mama Toby nodded. "I don't know. But the car that brought the man was big. One of those black Jeeps with AC. Maybe your helper has come." Stella didn't have nice clothes, but she wore her cleanest dress and tied her scarf neatly. She took a bike and asked the rider to take her to GRA. She had never been to that side of town before. The houses were like palaces, painted walls, tall gates, and flowers everywhere. Her mouth opened wide in shock. The bike stopped at number 15. The gate was taller than any house she had ever seen. She paid the rider and walked to the gate slowly. She knocked. A security man opened it. He looked serious but polite. "I'm looking for Mr. David," Stella said, holding up the note. He nodded and let her in. The compound was wide and beautiful. Flowers lined the walkway, and birds chirped from the trees. A young man in a suit came out to meet her. "Good morning. Are you Stella?" he asked. "Yes," she said, her voice shaking. "Follow me." She followed him into a cool, clean sitting room. It smelled of perfume and polish. The tiles were so clean they shone like glass. She sat on the edge of the sofa, afraid to touch anything. After a few minutes, a tall man walked in. He was wearing a white native and smiled warmly. "Stella, thank you for coming," he said. She stood up quickly. "Good morning, sir. My name is David. You don't know me, but I know what you did." Stella looked confused. He continued, "Yesterday you gave your last bread to a boy. That boy is my younger brother. He ran away from home 2 days ago after an argument. We've been looking for him. He told us about a woman who gave him bread when he was starving. That woman was you." Stella gasped. "I don't even know what to say," she whispered. Mr. David smiled. "I just wanted to meet you. Not many people would do what you did. You gave with nothing left. That is rare." He paused, then added, "I want to help you." Stella's eyes filled with tears. "Help me?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "You helped us. Let us help you now." Stella sat quietly, trying to understand everything Mr. David was saying. She felt like someone had poured water on dry ground. Her chest felt tight, but this time it was not hunger. It was hope. "You don't know me," she said slowly, "but I'm just an ordinary woman. I don't have much education. I clean houses, wash clothes. That's my life." Mr. David nodded. "That's fine. Good people are not made by big certificates. They are made by big hearts." He looked at his assistant, the young man in the suit. "This is Samuel," he said. "He will take you to the staff quarters. From today, you have a place to sleep here. You'll also start work as my mother's personal assistant. She's old and needs someone who is kind and patient." Stella opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her knees felt weak. "You mean I'll live here?" she asked. "Yes. You'll be paid monthly. You'll eat well, and if you do your job well, there will be more for you." Stella broke down. Tears ran down her face. She knelt on the floor, weeping loudly. "Thank you, sir," she cried. "Thank you." Samuel helped her up gently. She was shown to a small but neat room behind the main house. It had a fan, a soft bed, and its own toilet. Stella touched the bedsheet and laughed through her tears. She hadn't slept on a bed in years. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept turning from side to side, thinking of how one piece of bread had brought her to this place. She remembered the boy's eyes, the way he had said, "Something good will find you." She didn't know his words were prophecy. But even inside the joy, fear began to grow. What if this was too good to be true? What if they sent her away tomorrow? The next morning, Stella was taken to the main house to meet Mr. David's mother. Mama David was an old woman with tired eyes and a sharp tongue. She looked at Stella from head to toe and asked, "You're the one that fed my stubborn son when he was hiding like a rat?" "Yes, Ma," Stella answered softly. Mama David hissed. "We'll see if you're as good as they say." The first few days were not easy. Mama David gave her plenty of work. She shouted often, complained about everything, and tested Stella's patience. But Stella remained calm. She smiled, obeyed, and always answered with, "Yes, Ma." One evening, Mama David called her in. "Sit down," the old woman said. Stella sat, afraid. You're not just humble, you're strong. I've had 3 girls before you. They all ran away. But you, I like you." Stella smiled for the first time in front of her. Mama David nodded. "From today, I will treat you like my own daughter, and I will tell David to do the same." Stella couldn't believe it. She had passed the test. A few months later, she was promoted again, this time to manage the whole house staff. From the girl who had only one bread to the woman running a mansion. It had been 8 months since Stella entered Mr. David's household. Her life had changed completely. She now wore fine clothes, ate 3 square meals, and was treated with respect. Even Mama Toby came to visit once and almost cried when she saw Stella's new life. But there was something else Stella hadn't seen since that day near the mango tree. The boy. The same boy who started it all. She thought about him often. Where was he now? How was he doing? Did he remember her? One quiet Sunday afternoon, while Mama David was resting in her room, Stella went to the garden to water the flowers. The compound was peaceful. Birds chirped. The scent of hibiscus filled the air. Then she heard a voice behind her. "Auntie?" She turned around. It was him. Older now, cleaner and healthier, but it was the same boy, those same eyes. She dropped the watering can and rushed to him. "My child," she cried, "it's you!" He nodded, smiling shyly. "Yes, Auntie, it's me. My name is Emmanuel." Stella knelt and hugged him. Tears flowed again. "I have looked for you," she said. "I didn't even know your name." "I remember you every day," Emmanuel said. "Even when I was taken back to school, even when I returned home, I didn't forget. That bread saved my life." He told her how, after he ran away from home, he had slept in a market stall the night before. He was starving, cold, and too proud to return home after fighting with his brother. Then Stella gave him the bread. It gave him strength to walk back home. "I never told anyone," he said, "but that moment changed me. I went back to school. I worked hard. I'm in SS3 now. I want to study law." Stella smiled, touched and amazed. "I'm proud of you," she said. But Emmanuel had not come just to say thank you. "I've spoken to my brother," he said. "I want to start something. A food program. For poor children, I want to feed 100 hungry children every week." Stella's eyes widened. "That's beautiful," she said. "I want you to help me run it," Emmanuel added. "You understand hunger. You have the heart. Please say yes." Stella was speechless. She had cleaned floors, washed clothes, carried buckets. Now someone was asking her to help lead a big, meaningful project. She held Emmanuel's hands and nodded slowly. "Yes, I will help you." That day, something new was born. They called the program Bread of Mercy. Stella became the face of the mission. Every week, they fed children in poor areas. She told her story to mothers and fathers, to young girls with nothing. They listened and cried. Her voice gave them hope. Stella wasn't rich, but her life was now rich in purpose. 1 year had passed since Bread of Mercy began. Every Saturday, children gathered in the open space beside the church at Meat Market. They sat in neat rows on mats while Stella and the volunteers handed out bread, beans, rice, water, and warm smiles. The work was not easy, but it brought joy to Stella's heart. She had become a mother to many, even though she had no child of her own. She had become a voice of comfort, though her own past was filled with silence and pain. One day, something happened that she didn't expect. A journalist came to the feeding center. He had heard stories about a woman who gave her last bread to a street boy and now runs a feeding mission with him. He took pictures. He asked questions. The story went viral on social media. Within days, calls began to flood in. NGOs wanted to support Bread of Mercy. Food companies offered to donate bread every week. A senator sent a check. People from abroad sent money. Stella was shocked. Emmanuel laughed and said, "Auntie, your harvest has come." One morning, Mr. David called her into the main house. "You've worked with us for over a year," he said. "You've proven yourself again and again. I think it's time for you to own something." Stella looked confused. "Sir?" He handed her a brown envelope. Inside were house papers. "You now own a small 2-bedroom flat in Bloom Estate," he said. "It's yours, fully paid." Stella fell to the floor and wept loudly. She remembered the days she begged for water, the nights she slept hungry, the afternoons she waited at people's gates for cleaning jobs. Now she was a homeowner. That weekend, a special Thanksgiving service was held. Stella stood before the church with Emmanuel beside her. She told the story of the bread, the boy, the mango tree, the dusty road, the tears, the hunger, the miracle. The whole church stood up and clapped. Some cried. After the service, an old woman walked up to her and said, "You don't know me, but I used to see you carry buckets past my house. Now look at you. You are feeding the whole street." Stella smiled. It was never me. It was God, and one small piece of bread. She moved into her new house quietly, with just one bag of clothes and a small framed photo of her late mother. She placed the photo by the window and whispered, "Mama, I made it." She now had dreams bigger than before. She wanted to build a small school beside the feeding center. She wanted to train single mothers in cooking and tailoring. She wanted to give what she never had. But no matter how far she rose, she never forgot the smell of hunger or the pain of waiting for help. And every time she passed by the mango tree at the junction, she stopped and prayed. That tree had seen the moment her life changed. What did you learn from this story? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. I'm reading every single one. There's another powerful story dropping soon, and you really don't want to miss it. So, please subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell so you'll be the first to know when it drops. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.